wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
Alright, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath.
Time!
Oh, there we go.
So that's a yes? They can hear us?
Can they hear us now? They missed that synchronized bit? Damn it, Steve! We've been doing it for 3 years. We can do 3 more years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. So hey, we have audio. Hey, Dave.
I fixed it,
Amp. Wow, I can't believe Steve broke it!
Steve didn't break it. We requested a different setup.
Listen here, motherfucker. I fixed that shit.
And Steve fixed that shit, motherfucker.
Wow! Amp getting wildly attacked. Everybody else gets free shots in, including Auntie, who's putting an exclamation point. Steve!
Yeah, it's Steve's fault that it's working.
Oh no! Come on, bro. Clip
Time
that.
pick a place, Stamp. I will fight you.
Oh, hey, Dave.
Could that time and place be the Nerdies next week? Because it's going to be live, and the studio is going to be available for you, the viewers, to join us live. Just saying, yes, Boater.
What is the world's most popular stocking stuffer?
Oh, we're not allowed to say it on that broadcast, are we? It's a penis.
No, it's feet. Hell's wrong with you?
I mean, feet are next on the list of things people on the internet look for.
More like Rick and Mortis got it.
We'll pay to watch Stevie Amp fight. We'll donate to St. Jude. Put a pin in that because we do have some St. Jude news coming, and Amp absolutely will fight for the kids. Steve, on the other hand, will fight against the kids.
Meanwhile, because of all the craziness has gotten away from us, hey everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
And I'm just very excited to be here as Dave Man.
There were 3 out of 4 voices in your head saying I'm also Boater, right?
There's at least one Boater voice, and I can't remember.
That mostly flatters me, slightly weirds me out.
I can't tell if it's just years and years of listening to Boater on YouTube videos, and then being around and hanging out with Boater in person, or if it's me dressed as Boater or Boater dressed as me in the various things that we've all done where we do things like that. Actually, to be honest, it could just be Steve speaking in your voice, be like, and I'm Boater.
I think Steve does a terrible Boater impression.
I'm not doing one.
That was bait and he didn't fall for it.
That's actually a pretty good Boater impression. Hey, Boater, what do you think about this? I'm not participating in that. All right, Boater.
Make me sound like Dan.
But I will say, I have the worst Dan impression, but because I do it so often, it's the one.
It's the one. It's the official Dan impression. And they can't participate in that. That's the official Dan impression.
Which again, it's because it's so wrong that everyone equates it to Dan.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have more news for impressions later on too. But first, Dave, do you want to hear a Twitch ban real quick?
I really, really hope it's one of them bands where it's they fucked around and they found out. So I'm really curious to find out what it is.
He's not sure how he fucked around. This is Aiden, who is a Warzone 2 player and is entirely unsure how he got a 7-day ban for, quote, sexually explicit conduct. He says, I wasn't sent a clip. I wasn't sent anything from chat. I have no idea what happened. So he's probably going to try to appeal it, but, you know, we'll see. Not a whole lot to say because so far nobody's done the sleuthing and been like, oh, he says he doesn't know what it is. But then there was this time that he did the with the
They took out a stocking. It was game over from there. Game over, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, yeah, the stocking. Yeah, so that's really quick because I know we've got a lot of ground to cover. Some big stuff happened and great show ahead.
Also, this is the last Nerd Glasses before the Nerdies, which is the second to last Nerd Glasses before the new year. We've got 2 left in 2022. Let's make the toast of it.
Sure, Dave, while I bring up a link for Nerdies voting, because polls close at the end of the show tonight to get your vote in. If you have not voted already for the Nerdies for our award show, I'm going to post a link into chat while I dig that up. Dave, what's coming out in the next 7 days?
In the next 7 days, you can look forward to 3 different titles of wild acclaim and various content created, but none of these were supposed to come out. Oh, Amp already posted the Survey Monkey. Thank you so much, Amp.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amp. The first one came out today for the PlayStation 4 and 5, the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, the Series X, and for Windows. It is a game that originally came out for the PSP, which means that you didn't play it, I didn't play it, you didn't play it, and Steve probably has 2 copies of it. This, of course, being Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I like that word. That's a really nice, it's a good feel, like, tack-on thing.
Yeah, and they have a history of using it all the fucking time, too, so why not?
I like it. So this game, I know what you're thinking to yourself, I heard the words Final Fantasy VII, where's my big sordid cloud strife, and why am I seeing Sephiroth's ass around here? Well, it's 7 years before the events of the game Final Fantasy VII, no matter which version you're playing.
Yeah. Is this a remake in the vein of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, or is this just like a remaster and port to home console?
Remaster, port to home console, and a little tiny bit of a, hey, the Final Fantasy VII storyline is involved in 8 different games before the remasters and remakes, and we're going to kind of shoehorn in some of the more important details into the bigger ones like this one.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a content shuffle.
Okay.
7 years before the events of Final Fantasy VII, you play as Zack Fair. You are participating in the war that set up the events of Final Fantasy VII. You are with and around a whole lot of Sephiroth, and I know if you're like me and you spent a lot of time trying to get Aerith to... It's not fair! And I didn't like playing this game. I didn't. Every time I saw him, I thought to myself, I'm going to throw this PSP. And I remembered it was my friend's PSP, so I threw it at him instead.
Yeah, because then if he doesn't catch it, that's his fault.
It's my PSP now.
It's you spend the entire game as Zack, who's apparently real stupid for not looking at Sephiroth and going, that looks like a baddie.
You're not a very good person. Although, we know a not very good person that we'll be calling on later in the program. But the next
Steve
game...
is a saint. He's done so much for us.
Not
Don't...
Steve.
I wouldn't say saint.
Vladdy, thank you so much for the lurk. You sit
It's a
here
low
with
bar.
us.
It's a low bar.
Don't sell yourself short. You sit here and hang out with us, and you hang out at the counter with me all the time. You're a saint. Also coming out today is a game that Steve is not a very big fan of, so this almost didn't get the Nerd Vision treatment. But for Windows, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X available today,
Hold on. Okay. Just making sure it's the right one.
Go ahead.
Justin Roiland's High on Life.
What? Oh! This looks vaguely familiar.
Yes, we saw it announced in 2021 at the Microsoft convention. Thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. This is the one from the Rick and Morty creators, right?
Yes, this is from the creator of Rick and Morty. It's voice acted by the creator of Rick and Morty, Tom Kenny. You know, just the voice of SpongeBob, nothing else. And if you're a fan of comedy, as I am, JB Smoove. If you don't know that name by name, you know his voice. The G3 cartel captures humanity to use them for drugs. And you are a mercenary that has to use the sentient firearms to get the humans back and save the race as a bounty hunter.
I remember the big question in the discussion of this being, yes, that voice and that kind of humor, whatever, is fine for a 22-minute show. Does it get old after a 6-hour, 8-hour game campaign? I guess we'll start to find out as reviews come in, because, again, this released today. And it strikes me as the kind of game that they wouldn't have sent out a lot of advanced review copies.
So I will say they did send a lot of review copies.
Oh,
and
did they?
Boy, may they not perhaps be happy with the reviews they're getting.
Oh, boy. Because it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of games that are like, hey, we want that, like, critical boost, whatever. And then there's other games where they're like, this isn't a game for critics. This is a game for players or fans or whatever, so they don't bother with review copies. I would have expected this to be the latter.
Yeah, I think it's because this is one of the first games that this particular studio has done. It's the first foray into a non-Rick and Morty project. They wanted to make sure that this got the shine that they felt it deserved.
If you're a fan of comedy, probably stay away from this and that Morty-ass gun.
Our producer, Steve, still very much anti this game. Speaking of...
anti is anti the game as well.
That's true. My ploy did work. I feel very bad for the Red Bean Mochi because I have to look at when it expires. It's been the eternal thing. The mystery box, once again, pulling in because it could be anything. It could even be the mystery box. But Coconuts, you could use your channel points to vote for what schnackaroo we try here on the program.
This was billed to me pre-show as probably better than Pilk.
Eat the box. No, Auntie, the box is not a part of the deals. I've had to tell you this, I've told Steve this, I told Nicole it, and I certainly had to yell it at Vladdy as he tried to abscond with the prize box, the mystery box. Amp also saying, eat the box. This is something that was texted in the store group chat between myself to give you an idea of how safe we are with Coconuts. It's the group between me, Mike, and Steve, where we certainly don't share things like a gif of Pac-Man pointing that said, "That's him, officer, that's the horny," and stuff like that. And what's even funnier is, not during work hours. We do this on our own free time to each other. What up, Noodler Canoodler?
That's wonderful.
And Mr. Wet, go pilk yourself, Steve!
It's getting a very hostile chat environment.
Vladdy.
Fortunately, I know that everyone means all this jabs and such in jest. You guys are wonderful and don't actually mean any malice towards each other, and I love it. That makes this a very fun chat environment to have around us. So thank you, all of you, for participating with fake vitriol.
And for those of you that this may be your first stream, or you're not necessarily someone that participates in other programs, so you don't necessarily recognize the names that we shout out and things like that, just remember, if it goes wrong, if it's delayed, if it's not right, you can blame Steve for everything. In your life, in my life, in Boater's existence, it's fucking Steve. I mean, really, come on. If the box is less than $40, is it even a real box?
Dave, are there any other games that we...
Well, I'm really glad we kind of went off the rails. I really want him to pilk himself. Steve, would you do that as a St. Jude's incentive?
What do you mean?
Would you pilk yourself?
I don't want to get covered in Pepsi. That's a waste of
I love how vague that is as a verb and how you interpreted that. Because there are many ways, both better and far worse, that pilk as a verb could be applied.
In our Play Live seasons, I have taken baths of liquids that were typically for beverages, but instead were for Dave's showers. More like rigor mortis, yes. Those other things too, but...
Yeah, I don't know if we could show that on this site. One of them is, I can't remember the term, and thank God, because we'd get banned. Dave, what do we got?
The third game is actually a game we've discussed, we've hyped, we've built around, and now today's the day. This is the week, and tomorrow, the 14th, is actually the day that you, if you own a copy on the Xbox One, on the PlayStation 4, or on Windows, you come into possession of a free upgrade of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Upgraded and upscaled using new form and function, more Netflix-related content, hopefully at least one reference to the song "Toss a Coin to Your Witcher," and if there isn't,
Well, a lot of it is graphic. Is there content from the Netflix stuff?
Yes, there's some added content.
Interesting.
Small quests,
I probably knew
subtle
that.
nods and references.
Right, we did talk about that.
And I'm really excited about this because this is the kind of stuff when we upgraded to next gens. This is the kind of thing that all Microsoft and Sony said. This is the kind of stuff that's going to happen. And you know what? They were honest about it.
And it's a free update to. Did we say what game? The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. If you have the game, it is a free update. It's graphical upgrades. Has RTX ray tracing enabled. If you've got the video card for it. And it's the kind of thing that, like, is a next-gen upgrade done right. Like, there's some that are like, oh, yeah, we're re-releasing it and, charging you another $30, Sony. But this is just like
Madden.
CD Projekt Red is like, free, enjoy! As long as you have the base game, which I started playing on Boater Stream something on Thursday nights, and it didn't quite hold me. I might give it one more stream just with the new update, but we'll see.
How many streams did you give it?
3.
Well, that's more than my weekend Wednesday where I gave it 3 hours, and then I thought to myself, this is a game that I want to play off stream, which means that
That's the thing.
I haven't touched it since.
That's the thing, too. Like, it borderline feels to me like it might be better, like, something just veg out with and not try to be on talking to chat with.
I enjoy that everyone's sentiments was, for both Anti and Demon Dragon, all right, I already have it, now I'm going to reinstall it. Like, this is going to be a boon for CD Projekt Red, who, let's all be totally honest, fie on them for Cyberpunk when it first came out. But damn, if you're going to stick the landing, they've been doing it.
They've definitely been doing the long-term support for their games. With this, Cyberpunk is now in a great state for the systems it should have been on in the first place. And then, yeah, so me and Demon Dragon both got Witcher 3, probably from a Humble Bundle or something, years ago, and had never installed it until, like, I finally did for Boater Stream something. So, I still have Cyberpunk, really excited for that DLC. Yeah! That looks awesome.
Idris Elba is a god.
So, like, instead of Witcher, I'm probably going to go to Cyberpunk 2077 on that
That's
Thursday
fair.
night stream.
That's
So.
fair. But that's all the games that are coming out in the next 7 days. Free DLC, a Rick and Morty long-form joke featuring some good comedians, and another reason to dive into the just cacophonous nest that is the Final Fantasy VII World Web storyline.
What have you been playing in this past That's a grin. I don't know about that grin. I don't know about that
Do
grin.
you
Dave.
have another hour? Because I, sir,
Dave, what have you been playing other than Overwatch 2?
Well, I, sir, have been back and forth into the Hill and Dales and playing games that were nominated for the Nerdy Awards.
That's right.
And I've been really excited that I tailored my content this month to the things that were nominated, be it Dark Tide. This Sunday we played Scarlet. We had some Pokemon Legends Arceus. And then tomorrow we're playing Elden Ring. Oh my god, my brain. I have been working for the last 12 hours and now we're live on camera, so pardon me as my brain turns to moosh more so than usual. So I've been playing just a butt ton of Pokemans, and by god, it's fun. It's a mess. There's a lot of bugs that you wouldn't expect, things like that, but it doesn't take away from the Pokemans. It doesn't. And I really enjoyed the fact that Valheim had an update recently where they created a new area for your Viking pleasure to go to called the Mistlands.
Ooh.
Now, I have the distinctive pleasure of gaming Monday nights on Love Alex channel with a group that's met there, and we had leveled to the point where we were pretty well handled on all the challenges in the game.
Yeah.
And then the Mistlands content came out, and wouldn't you know it, we got immediately put in our place. Like, we made landfall, we all piled into a boat, and we sang we're going on a trip on our favorite piece of shit, and we sailed the open seas, and we fought dragons, and we fought the wyverns, and we did all these things, and we made landfall, and we saw some dwarves, and the dwarves spoke a funny language, and I got mad at them because they wouldn't take my coupon for nothing. And then we built a base, as we usually do when we go to new places, and suddenly we heard just this, like, off in the mist in the distance. And so I wandered off to try to find it. Could not, kept hearing it off in the distance, and it was like multiple footsteps. It was like hordes of things. And so finally the base gets finished. We set up a portal to be able to go home between our base and this and the other. And an enormous ant comes from nowhere and just wrecks everything. Kills 3 of us immediately, destroys half of the base. So we kill the ant, and we're like, this is finally a challenge. We're really excited for this and that and the other. And just as we started really putting things back together, another ant came and just finished off what was left of the base and killed the rest of us. So
Ants are not solitary creatures, Dave.
No, they are not. And in this game, Valheim's new update, they are not. And what was worse was we finished the base, we got the portal back up, we're all finished. We're like, okay, it's gonna be good. Everyone's totally fine. And this and the other. And suddenly we heard the plotting of a new ant. We were like, all right, we've got this motherfucker. We're gonna get it. It's gonna be good. And then we heard this new trumpeting sound. And we went, what the hell is that? And essentially, picture an overlord from StarCraft, but in Valheim. And it dropped little alien creature tick things that were about the size of people on top of us. And it was bad. It was all bad. And everybody died. And it was so much fun. And it's adding such a new dimension to the Valheim playthrough. And I literally cannot wait to be live again next week. Twitch.tv/LoveAlec. He starts at 7 every Monday. And he goes till midnight with us. And we start at 9:30 with the Valheim. And it added such a big dimension because at that point we were so leveled. And so much equipment and all these things, and we really didn't have any challenges anymore. And we were literally handed our asses on a silver platter and told, and now here's this. Get good, scrubs. And it was so good.
Anti-Claus saying, I'm surprised how much Pokemon gets a pass when every other broken game is getting criticized so much. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm surprised that... I mean, if we bring it back to Cyberpunk, a ton of bugs, numerous, more that were game-breaking than Pokemon has, but still a lot of bugs, and it was getting taken to task. But there was the group saying, well, it's still, I'm enjoying playing it on the newer whatever, even past the bugs. But yeah, the difference is that, CD Projekt Red is fixing Cyberpunk and has a history of doing that kind of thing. Game Freak doesn't.
So, here's for me why I give Scarlet and Violet a pass. Because it's visual stuffs. Textures that don't necessarily load very correctly, but it doesn't interfere with me going, oh my god, a Pokemon! So they don't change the gameplay. It's the same thing. You capture a Pokemon, you train it up, you huck a ball at a new one, you capture the new one, you look for shinies.
Okay.
And the thing that gives this one other allness, and I'll just say, I won't. There's no spoilers. This one has a heady story to it, whereas previous Pokemon games were like, "All right, you're 10 years old, get the hell out!" Like,
And that's the kind of thing that, like, I wish they had delayed it a year, because we got Legends Arceus this year. We didn't need 2 Pokemon games in a year.
nope, we didn't need 3 Pokemon games this year.
Oh my god. Yeah, because, like, they hold to, like, every 3 years for those big things, but it's like, you know, even everything considered, like, they didn't have the people power to make that happen. Do people expect more of CDPR and don't expect anything from Game Freak?
Who's the target audience of CD Projekt Red's games?
I mean, and that's fair too, but at the same time, like, yeah, CDPR is more to an adult audience, might be more critical, but, like, it doesn't mean that people aren't critical of Pokemon.
No, not at all. However, you're willing to... Pokemon has more things to draw out. This Pokemon's cute. I really like that. I have these ease of access, this and that and the other, and this and that and the other, whereas CD Projekt Red has, I really want to sit down and play this game for the 30 minutes I have a break for. What do you mean I can't play it in my 30 minutes a week that I get to game? Great! I'm going to write a review. Like...
I mean, and the thing is that there is a lot of, like, still a lot of negative about how it plays as a game. Like, in reading reviews, there's, like, the positive of, like, yeah, the story is great and new mechanics and everything, but gameplay-wise, it's still,
Funny you should say that. Apparently there's a game-breaking crash where people use a certain move one after another, Monkus. Please tell me it's like round, a move that incentivizes you to use it one after another, because I would like that.
Anyway.
Make sure, by the way, we're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, one of the games nominated for Game of the Year during the Nerdies. We have a link in chat for the voting for the Nerdies. If you haven't done it yet, now is your time to make your voice heard. Help companies win the grand prize of the Nerdy Awards.
The
second annual Nerdy.
I'm gonna go through those nominations really quick, and then I'll say what I've been playing.
Please.
For Game of the Year,
And thank you.
in addition to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, there's also Pokemon Arceus, 2 Pokemon games that are in the running for Game of the Year. Also, actually, Dave, I'm gonna go through them. You tell me which ones you played, because you said you were trying to see which ones you had played. So, Elden Ring.
Yep.
Gran Turismo 7.
No.
Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Want to? Do not have the money for that right now.
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Could steal it from Steve. Haven't played it.
Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Sifu, Stray, Warhammer 40k Darktide, We Are OFK.
I want to play that one really bad too. All right, so 6. I have 6.
6 out of 10. All right. And you can, of course, also check out the other categories for the nerdies. I have been, let's see, I caught up on the Willow TV series. And I'm enjoying that.
Okay, good.
It's a thumbs up, not the, like, 5 thumbs up that I gave Andor, but I am enjoying it. It is a thumbs up. And it's interesting. It's where what is it? House of Dragons or whatever. The Game of Thrones fantasy show that came out this year is, like, very, like, dark and serious, and Rings of Power is not quite so dark, but still serious. And Willow, leans into some of the stuff that the movie does, and that it is serious, but it's also funny. And it also there was a bit during episode 2 that I'm like, it's awkward and cringy, and it's like, it's supposed to be awkward, but I can't watch that kind of, okay, we're past it, okay. But overall, I'm enjoying the series so far. It's a short one, 8 episodes overall, releasing every Wednesday, after which Bad Batch starts coming out. So Disney Plus has my Wednesdays booked for months.
Is that why you have Bad Batch playing?
Yes.
Okay.
So in addition to watching that, I'm fully sucked back into American Truck Simulator now. It's glorious on the ultra wide, and also
It really is.
been playing Raft. So finally getting back to playing Raft with Sam, getting our stuff upgraded, and realizing that we're basically right next to our next story mission, and that's where we ended playing last time, so probably tomorrow night we're gonna hop back in and progress the story a bit more. So, still, I did my Twitch recap, and apparently that is my most played game on Twitch, which I find a little surprising, but okay. I am apparently in the top 4% of people playing Raft on Twitch, as far as game time goes.
Cool.
Okay, we'll take it.
By the way, we're talking about Twitch recaps. We mentioned that Twitch tries to do the year in aggregate for folks. And I know in the Weekend Wednesday Discord, I posted a chance for everyone to post what their Twitch recap for the year was. I posted mine as a viewer and as a streamer. And Steve gave us his. And I like that Twitch does that. I like that there's kept stats of these things.
Yeah. It's neat, and it was the trending topic for a while on Twitter. Is everyone posting theirs? 80 broadcasts. 3,000 chat messages. Top categories were Raft, Horizon Zero Dawn, Jedi, Fallen Order, and Power Wash Simulator. So
my top categories. Oh, what a shock for DM314 for this year. Elden Ring, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Overwatch.
Twitch claimed I was in the top 8% of Horizon Forbidden West streamers, which was his most disappointing game of the year. Ouch.
I mean, that'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Steph is enjoying Forbidden West. I still have to be very careful coming upstairs while she's playing, lest I accidentally see a spoiler. Alright, so there is voting going on. There's a few minutes left. There's 4 minutes left to vote on a snack for us to try. At least I can claim I give it a fair chance. Absolutely.
You did, and the problem is the thing that was bringing Auntie back was some of the frequency
Careful.
of characters talking and things like that. And so if that's what's going to come up and that's what's going to bother you personally, because I watch those streams, I mean, like.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going through these. These are last week's notes. I don't have anything written down.
Boo, Boater, boo!
Well,
Open
fine.
a tab sometime.
The FTC has decided to formally file suit against the Microsoft Activision Blizzard King merger.
Boo!
Discuss.
Why can we not just get that fat asshole out of that chair? Come on! And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's bring him in for a minute.
What else can I help you with?
Bobo, I understand that you really want to pad out that golden parachute, but I think it's packed enough to carry the mansion, the kids, the wife, the cars, and all the servants that you probably have money for.
So here's the thing. During the previous administration, the FTC didn't care about doing antitrust stuff. Disney bought Fox, and they were like, "Yeah, that's fine." And there was other. What'd you say? It was Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Just like mergers that shouldn't have happened. And now this administration looks like it's more likely to do things, and if it's actually is a portent of things to come, it's in general a good thing. I am in general in favor of consolidation not happening. I'm just really conflicted in this one instance because I want Bobby Kotick gone. I want him out of the top seat at Activision. I don't care how it happens.
Activision Blizzard.
Yes, Activision Blizzard King.
All of us, depending on where you come from with the fandoms, like Blizzard people are like, well, Blizzard this year is, it's like Activision Blizzard now. Like you can't, like it's not that company anymore. Like
The asshole is fused to the chair. Cannot be separated without surgery. Anus melded to pleather. It's there. And it's like And I also, like, it feels weird to me because Sony is really leveraging the whole, like, oh, well, then we won't get Call of Duty, and it's such a big thing. Microsoft's going to take it exclusive. And Microsoft is like, we worked out a deal where you're going to get at least 10 years of Call of Duty and have it on PlayStation Plus. And we also said the same with Nintendo, that they're going to have it for at least 10 years. Oh, yeah, but you took Redfall and you made that exclusive after telling the EU regulators that you weren't going to do that. And the EU's over there like, they said no such thing! Redfall was announced after the ZeniMax merger went through.
And if the reality is, especially with companies like that, Sony, if you want a game that badly, you make sure you get it in writing. Because while things are in development,
Sony is the biggest name in this particular segment, and I understand that Microsoft is a bigger company than Sony is. Sony and Microsoft both act like 3-year-olds throwing things and crying, but it feels like Sony is doing it more in this particular
it's because it's Microsoft's chance to have a thing, and Sony has something to...
Microsoft
they have something to perceive to lose.
Microsoft doesn't have a lot of, like, first-party games and developers and stuff like that. They've lost some over the years. They had Bizarre Creations that went to Activision. Activision shut them down after one game. They had Bungie. Bungie went independent. Guess who has Bungie now? Sony. So Microsoft doesn't have a lot of first-party developers. Microsoft is a bigger company than Sony is, but PlayStation is way bigger than Xbox is, if you just look at it market to market. Sony did it for longer this last week. Microsoft tried catching up. I think that after a year of everyone trying to speak up against this merger, because it was announced, 11 and a half months ago. After a year of this, Microsoft is getting understandably frustrated of people trying to get in the way with hypocritical arguments.
And then the reality is that these are working. Like these minor facets of this business inquiry and things like that are successfully delaying this merger. It hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
Numbers haven't been put in. Bank accounts haven't been exchanged. This lawsuit is another thing in a long line of reasons that I really hope this Activision Blizzard merger is not on the nerdies next year.
And so, what could happen would be, like I mentioned, Disney buying Fox. They were forced to spin some things off of it and not buy, all of Fox. They had to, they couldn't buy Fox News. They couldn't buy whatever. They bought basically the 20th century, the movie part. And so it's possible that, at the end of all this, Microsoft won't be able to buy Activision Blizzard King as a whole. Blizzard might be spun off independent. I don't think that that's going to happen, but some of the other, do that. Blizzard Albany might go back to being independent. The smaller studios might end up having to be, spun off a little bit in order to make it happen. But this is all just process and procedure to make it happen. In the end, as I said, I am pro antitrust stuff happening. I just really want Bobby Kotick out of the chair. And this ties into the next thing that we want to talk about, which I think we'll tease. We'll have a snack, and then we'll get to. I mentioned that Microsoft doesn't have a lot of first-party developers. And with that knowledge in place, a lot of people got upset. Not upset, but made note that at the Game Awards, there wasn't a lot of presence from Microsoft, despite the fact that they were in the Microsoft Arena or whatever it's called.
They were in the Microsoft Theater.
Theater.
It was a Microsoft branded place.
Yeah.
You went there and the big old Microsoft logo was above the entryway.
But there was not a lot of Xbox stuff during the Game Awards, partially because of this not having a whole lot of first-party development.
This Activision Blizzard merger is a part of one of the votings for the Nerdies, Auntie. You are right. It is under the mergers and acquisitions.
Yep.
Because there were also a bunch of other acquisitions that happened this year.
This has been the main one, but there's been a ton, especially early in the year. So, Dave, do you want to talk Game Awards now, or do we want to see what we're trying?
Set up the... Whoa! So close! So, with 1% the mystery box, God bless you, 2.1k points, 49% went to Red Bean Mochi with 69K points.
Nice.
And at the last minute, snatching it all, digging down deep and doing the old twist, Coke Nuts with 70K points.
50%. And I shouted, whoa, because last time we looked at that, it was like 10% mystery box, 90% Coke Nuts. So to see Red Bean Mochi nearly taken
as
over.
I am preparing Coke Nuts over here, we made some words. We made some decisions. We made some jaunts and predictions at the incumbent The Game Awards. We made some predictions. Some backflip challenges were offered. By the way, in each of these is going a shake of peanuts.
I thought you put like a handful. You put a handful in your hand and then you put it in your mouth and you drink the Coke.
Nope.
Welcome, everyone. Steve, who took our predictions last week. We went through looking at a lot of... Hold on. Excuse me. We looked at a
You
lot...
barked at me and not him. Great.
I covered it. This arm doesn't work that well. We're just putting in his face.
Fair.
We looked at a lot of the categories that were there for the Game Awards, and decided to make some predictions as to who might win. So let's look now. Steve wrote down those predictions for us. Steve, what I'd love for you to do is you say what each of us predicted, and then who actually won the award. Go ahead and squeeze in as much as you can.
For best game direction, Voter predicted God of War Ragnarok. Dave predicted Elden Ring, and I predicted Stray. The winner was Elden Ring, so Dave gets the first point.
Nice.
Oh, I made some wild predictions for this, so I was stoked.
For best
Just
music,
noticed Dave and Bodo are twinsies with... Whoops, dropped my phone. Did you drop your phone? Did you stroke out? Are you okay? Do I,
I
need to
hope
come
you're
home?
okay.
Next.
For best music, Boder predicted God of War Ragnarok. Dave and I both predicted Metal Hellsinger. And we were robbed because fucking God of War Ragnarok won. Boder with 1 point.
We Are OFK was robbed for not getting nominated.
Yeah, damn it.
Okay, there we go. For best performance, the three of us voted for Christopher Judge. Christopher Judge won.
Christopher Judge won.
Oh!
Boder and Dave with 1
Well
point.
deserved.
Myself with 1. For best indie game, Boder predicted Cult of the Lamb. Dave with Sifu, and myself with Stray. Stray won the award, so
Alright.
we were all at 2 apiece.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. That was not a loss that
Yeah.
felt bad.
Yeah.
For best sports racing game, Boder predicted FIFA, Dave predicted Dark Souls of Racing, and I predicted GT7. GT7 stole the crown.
Okay.
We get one of those every 10 years. It's nice to
It's
see.
a good game, okay? If you like cars, you'll like Gran Turismo.
Thank you for the Coke Nuts. I am terrified.
Oh, they're floating in
Oh,
it.
why does it smell?
Is now a bad time to tell you that I'm allergic? No.
Get in line. Me and Steve eat stuff all the time we're allergic to.
No, it's now a bad time to tell you that I just don't like peanuts. All right, here we go.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I like it, but
If you like your nice salty carbonated drinks, but you need them to be saltier.
you know what would make this better? If we had a baseball game on.
All right, that's enough of that. NTE saying God of War won way too much. I think God of War won the right amount, considering I predicted a lot of things. With that on, what was the next category?
The next category was Best RPG. Boder voted Elden Ring, Dave voted Triangle Strategy, and I voted Pokemon. Winner was Elden Ring. Boder and I both have 3 points, Dave at 2. Best Narrative. Boder and I both picked Ragnarok, and Dave picked Elden Ring. Oh wow, I messed up. Oh well. Boulder and I both got the point because God of War Ragnarok won. Just gonna steal your pen for a second.
Okay.
Mr. Wet says, let it really absorb the soda pop.
You got to let
to
the
the
nuts
peanuts.
settle a little. Okay.
You really got to let the nuts just kind of umvra in there. In the Coke. I'm holding up how many points I have, by the way, just for giggles.
For best multiplayer, Boulder picked Multiverses, Dave Overwatch 2, and myself Splatoon 3. Splatoon 3 won.
Okay.
Ugh, excuse me. And finally, Game of the Year. Boulder picked Stray with the asterisk of God of War Ragnarok. Dave picked Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I picked Ragnarok. Winner was Elden Ring.
All of us got that one wrong.
So in total, I got 5 points, Boulder 4, and Dave 2.
He just told us that was all. He told us that was all pretty close. That does not.
I miscalculated. I thought there was.
Steve goes,
Dave had
Steve
3.
goes, yeah, it was really close. And I was like, I should not be close to you. I made really, really heartfelt picks that were not at all in reality. Like,
So I tried to watch the show during my stream on Thursday, but I tried to watch on Steam so I could potentially get a Steam Deck, and it just did not work. So finally, after my stream ended after a couple hours, I was able to watch the last hour, no problem.
so did you get a Steam Deck?
No.
Did you get a Steam Deck?
No.
MILF Slayer got a Steam
Yeah,
Deck.
Milf
they
What's wrong
Slayer
with that?
was what, the first person to get a Steam Deck?
Yep.
And it was during Christopher Judge's amazing, if long, acceptance speech. So he's there being heartfelt, and then congratulations, MILF Hunter. Yeah, so I guess just as long as you're here, guys, the troll after Game of the Year was insane. Yeah, we'll get there. What was your guys' thoughts on the show
So,
in general?
actually, before we do that, how did we take in the Game Awards? Did you guys watch the Game Awards? Let us know in chat your impressions, your moments, and things like that. Steve, did you watch the Game Awards?
I had a tab on Twitch and I had a tab on Steam going on my laptop.
double dipping.
Were you watching it, or were you like, kind of?
I have my laptop here, so I was just like scrolling through my phone to see what won.
Okay.
The announcements. And
You were streaming, but you were keeping it open on the side and looking in.
I tried, but it wouldn't stay open, so I tuned in for the last hour at the end.
I followed my tradition of Amp Slayer usually actually streams during the Game Awards, and we all react to it in live time.
Okay.
Because who dresses Jeff Keighley? Who tells that man full suit and Air J's? I mean, really.
His pants were like windbreaker pants or something that were
yes, they
so
were.
loose and puffy.
It's been 10 years. Now he's like getting to dad status. He was like, I don't need to dress up for this, but I'm putting on my J's.
So like I don't want to be the one that's like, oh, talk about fashion at the Game Awards, but it's still like I'm a little over the whole like skinny jeans, printed T-shirt and blazer.
I just got to. The reason I mentioned that specifically is because the first time we all watched the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley was wearing an off-color pair of Jordans that every time they panned over him, literally all of us were like, the shoes! Like,
Valve, we're giving away Steam Decks for every minute you watch the stream on Steam.tv, but screw you, Europeans, it starts at 2 a.m. your time.
yep.
Dave, you're just jealous of his drip.
I am jealous of his drip.
God. Dave, who are we going to be wearing for the nerdies next week?
Well, I'm going to be wearing the finest fashions that a person that works 3 jobs 7 days a week can wear. Kohl's. Top rack Kohl's stuff. Top rack Kohl's stuff that's on sale.
I think I'm getting a new shirt in from Redbubble this week, so maybe I'll...
I'll find my pimp shirt and my pimp tie.
I want you all to wear the exact outfit. That exact outfit was still probably like $500 for some stupid reason.
Oh, I would absolutely wear that
Yes.
suit.
Best performance at the Game Awards was the flautist jamming during the Game of the Year nomination orchestral medley. Yeah, that guy was rocking it. That was fun to see.
Sorry, the Coke nuts are getting in my throat. That was by far one of the things that are the reasons the Game Awards is such a good event, because they have a live orchestra that plays a medley of all of the big nominees. Do we, Steve, have an orchestra of 48 pieces coming to the studio next week for the Nerdies?
No.
There might be 48 pieces of peanuts in here.
I don't. I took the last drink, and some wasn't fully liquid, and some wasn't fully solid. So I don't know what to do with that information.
You all watched me make this. There's no funny business going on here. It's literally just peanuts and Coke.
Choking on Coke nuts is relatable and not unanticipated. What else? Yeah, okay, so we do need to talk about the troll at the end. So the team of 4 from FromSoft walk up to accept the award for Elden Ring winning Game of the Year, and 5 people are standing up there in the group on stage, plus Jeff Keighley over to the side being like, I'm so proud of what my show has become. Surely nothing can go wrong now.
Did you notice him before
I
he spoke?
didn't.
Did
I
you
didn't.
notice
I
him
was
before
only
he
half
spoke?
paying
I did.
attention. I was playing I was playing my mobile game and like half listening and wondering like, did they get more time to speak because he needs to talk and then be translated for? Not realizing that they never had timers and never expected anybody to go as long as Christopher Judge did.
I know the group I was watching with, we all noticed him right away. And we're like, one of these things is not like the others. One of these is not an Asian man.
I mean, yeah, like after the fact, I look and I'm like, holy shit. And then, sure enough, that was accepted, and then people are cheering, and then this kid who has a history of doing trolley stuff.
He's like 15 years old.
Yeah, he's like he did something at like an NBA game.
He did something on Infowars.
Yeah, there was that too. He
On
did,
what?
Yeah, he was on Infowars.
No,
Yes.
no, we don't
Yeah.
talk about that shit.
He did something where like he was at an NBA game and like held up a sign that like baited the TV camera to be on him, and as soon as it was on him, he like dropped that, and there was another sign behind it that was like pro Taiwan or something. He's got a history of trolling, and so like this happened, and immediately everyone is like, oh no, is this like some awful anti-Semitic?
Unfortunately, a lot of anti-Semitic groups immediately went to social media and took credit for it.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the trolls of the internet who... You guys gotta fucking figure shit out. But they immediately went, no, this person has a history of doing things like this.
Yeah,
It
just
wasn't
saying
a-
something for the attention.
It wasn't. Yeah, it
whatever.
wasn't hate speech. It was just a person weighing in front of a microphone for attention.
A microphone that for some reason was left hot.
Yeah,
Yep.
And then
I
he
can't-
wanders up and says that he wants to give the nomination to. Do you remember the exact wordage?
Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Orthodox Rabbi Bill
No,
Clinton.
because it wasn't even like it was just I want to nominate this award to my
Yeah, it
like
was, yeah.
fucking
it
get
was-
out of here.
It was very like it's scripted but poorly.
Yeah.
What was comical was 10 feet away is Jeff Keighley standing there going 10 years and now it's fine. It's finally dead. Like,
Yeah. Well, Jeff looked very happy. Nothing can go wrong. It's all gone wrong.
And like when they panned away, you could see security rushing the stage.
And
Well, what I-
nothing can go wrong.
I-
Oh no, it's all gone wrong.
What I will say, and I'm very proud of, is in the event of this situation, security quickly approached, but on camera and reportedly afterwards, there was maybe a little bit of, hey, keep it moving, some gesturing, hey, you have to come over here now.
Yeah, yeah.
He was arrested and processed and things like that.
He wasn't
There
formally
wasn't-
arrested. He was definitely like brought to the station and
There was
whatever, yeah.
thankfully not a use of force on someone who was mouthy but proved no other.
Yeah, which I mean, at the same time, like that could have gone with how easily
Very
like
poorly.
slipped in there.
That moment could have been something that we're talking about in a very different light.
yeah. Well,
Um,
it's like whenever you hear about or read about these things, it's just what do you need to get anywhere that you're not supposed to be is confidence at a clipboard.
Miyazaki should have gone in for the backstab. They really, you could see on their faces when they all like accepted the award and stepped away, and the kids stepped forward. All of them immediately, you could see on their faces, they went, "Oh no!"
Yeah, and again, what engineer saw that and didn't go mute? Because I'm like half paying attention the entire time I'm playing my mobile game. All of a sudden I hear that and I'm like, excuse me, what the excuse me?
Although the internet really is only talking about this one particular topic and event because it is uncommon, it is something we'll remember, and it is something that Jeff Keighley next year will definitely reference and laugh about. Mm-hmm. what a good award show this year.
Yeah, so
Like-
I feel like last year there was a lot more to rag on with the Game Awards. There was a lot of stuff that went wrong. There was a lot of what the fuck wins. And I get the feeling that the wins of this one, some of them might have been a little unconventional, but none of them were like, what the hell?
This year, thankfully,
Steve would have muted that mic. It wouldn't have been intentional, but the mic wouldn't have worked. So, sorry.
That microphone probably would have just been completely disconnected. And then Jeff Keighley would have came back on and you would just...
Yeah.
Yep.
Lily's Lottery, welcome. It was such a strange moment, confusion and anxiety all mixed together. Yeah, but like last year had a lot of weird stuff happen at the Game Awards, and I think it was that we looked and said, wow, that was so wild. We could do a better job, and that's why we did the Nerdies. And this year, again, we planned our Nerdies out more in advance. And it's interesting because the Game Awards, despite it not having happened when voting opened, the Game Awards were nominated for a Best Gaming Event in the Nerdies. If you haven't voted yet, you can do so, and that was an option that's available for you. But it was, in ways, such like a different show than it was last year. I mean, it was still much the same show, but... Dave, you look pained.
I would have broke
Do you
it,
need
but
to
I
go
would also
poop?
fixed it.
Does Dave need a potty?
No! Death Stranding 2 is announced, and I'm really excited about it because it's going to be really good!
Not about it.
He's not upset. He's just been holding it in for so long.
I have been holding this in since the moment. Actually,
we don't even need conspiracy baseball.
Everyone in the Discord call immediately knew because when they announced Kojima-san, he came out. It was amazing. The trailer played. I'm really excited because there's more questions than there were answers. And they literally looked at the audience and went, we have a lot of things going on in that trailer. Keep rewatching it. So I did, and I have, and I'm having a great time with it. And I can't wait for that game to come out because it looks like it's going to be just as much of what the the original Death Stranding was.
The Death Stranding 2 trailer is Dave's most played game of the last 7 days.
By the by, did you all see the next celebrity crossover that is absolutely going to happen that was spurned on because of the Game Awards, and by far my favorite moment of the Game Awards? Jeff Keighley has pushed to put the Game Awards in a place to be more mainstream, to be more accessible to people. So this year, he had more celebrities.
Right.
He had more recognizable characters. He had Animal from the Muppets, and he asked Animal, would you want to be in a video game, Animal? And he immediately went, yeah, I want to be in a Kojima game. And they immediately penned Kojima, and Kojima immediately realized this was unscripted, and he was really embarrassed, and it was adorable and hilarious, and it was everything to me. But what I want to say, my favorite, earnestly, one of my other favorite parts of the Game Awards proper was the fact that they showed the trailer for Death Stranding 2, and then what followed was Jeff Keighley, Hideo Kojima, and a translator standing on stage. Keighley asked about 3 minutes worth of questions, and Kojima successfully answered in a 3-minute span absolutely nothing. He said absolutely nothing in 3 minutes, and I am so fucking excited for that because of the very few people on this planet that bullshit around the truth for you. That's the man that I want to not tell me what's going on. That's the thing that I'm really excited for. And so for me, when the Game Awards come around, I know for a fact I'm going to see my friend Kojima and I'm going to get to really cool information.
Well, I mean,
Damn!
Kojima coming out was more or less a given. I don't think people knew that Death Stranding 2 was going to be the announcement.
It definitely wasn't. Norman Reedus spoiled it earlier this year, pal. But
True.
The fact that we got a full-on trailer, we got character designs, we have plotline builds, we have some spoilers if you haven't finished Death Stranding. But
Yeah.
the other thing I did get in a lot of trouble.
I mean, we haven't talked about Death Stranding on the show yet. We've been meaning
We
to, but
can't.
it just
We
keeps-
just never run out. We never have time. I will say that the voice actor for Higgs appeared there in multiple instances, and every time that bastard appeared, I booed the shit out of him, and Amp gave me shit for it.
We speaking of running low on time, we're starting to run out. But of the world premieres, other than Death Stranding 2, obviously, what was your favorite new thing that was announced? Like,
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Party Animals. That
okay,
shit looks fun.
okay. Dave, anything stick out to you?
Oh yeah, Death Stranding 2. Indefinitely.
Anything else? Dave doesn't understand the question.
No.
Again, I only watched for that last hour, so the only one that I saw that like kind of made me go, "Oh, that's interesting," is the one that has way too many celebrity voice actors. The like Crime City or something.
That one's going to be really good, and I have to buy that one in March because I said that I would to the group that we're watching, so that all of us didn't have to buy copies.
The only experience I ever had with Death Stranding was Boater playing the Jiggle Physics mod. It wasn't a mod, it was just a separate game, but yeah, anime standing. That was a thing that I did on the Citadel.
That was a thing we got away with on stream.
My God. Oh. That game had a Cybertruck in it. That shit still doesn't exist in real life, and we were in the old studio when we did that.
Way to go, Twitter boss.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to laugh at Elon because this dumbass is introduced on the stage by Dave Chappelle, who has recently gone rather hard anti-trans, so people attending his show are already at least somewhat cool with that. And then he's like, hey, here's my buddy Elon Musk, richest guy in the world. And 90% of the crowd boo him for 10 minutes straight. I know it has nothing to do with gaming, but that shit makes me happy.
It should. Rich people getting what they deserve. This is another case of why we used to eat the rich. Just saying. But anything, other moments from the Game Awards that got you guys impassioned, excited, nods to games, to events, to things?
No, like I said, I mean, my Dark Horse awesome moment was the like that one guy in the orchestra just rocking out. Just impressed with how seriously Christopher Judge took his win. And like I'm struck by, they'll be like, okay, these are the less important categories, and they'll announce like 3 or 4 of them as winners in like a 40-second span. All right, and the winner of this is this, and the winner of that is this. Like they're announcing lottery numbers, and it's like, come on, I know that you really like doing like the trailers and everything like that and making it about that, but like you're an award show. Give some more time to those awards, even the ones that are like the smaller ones, because it can mean a lot to people. It meant a lot to Chris Judge, and it showed there, and it kind of contrasted how much the show takes itself and what it wants to do versus what other people might expect from it as an award show. So I was just really impressed with Judge, and it kind of shining a light on the like how sometimes they'll half-ass some of the actual award aspects of it. Dave, you're still contemplating your coconuts.
I don't hate it, but what can I say?
How about you, Steve?
Fuck Fire Emblem. Announcing a fucking expansion pack before the game actually fucking came out.
All of you folks at home have no idea how perfect it is that Steve and I are sitting on either side of Butter. In this visual metaphor.
If you're gonna announce an
you, Steve.
expansion to a game that's an RPG that'll take you forever to play, announce it after it comes out. That's how you get people playing it longer. Fuck.
Anticlaus Prime talking about the Space Marine 2 gameplay and giving an O face for that, because that is going to be really good.
Yeah, overall, Game Awards was a really cool event and definitely a contender for best event in the nerdies. I think it might be a little unfair to it that it happened halfway through the voting period, but we'll just see how things shake out. Folks, you have just a couple minutes left to vote for the nerdies. If we can get that link one more time in chat. I believe it was Amp that was posting that. Amp, if you're able to drop that in for us one more time, thank you so much.
Literally as you said it.
Yep. So thank
Love
you,
you,
Amp. And after the show, we go offline. We move everything over. We get Steve all set up for Shovelware Shack.
Yep.
And then we're going to go tally up the Nerdies votes for the official results and get ready for the show next week.
If you haven't yet, you got 10 minutes to vote. Make sure to write in your favorite program on Insane Games TV.
Vote for the Shack.
And also, just remember, you know a guy who can give you free tickets so that you too can attend the Nerdies live.
You don't need tickets.
You do need tickets.
You don't need tickets.
They're free because you know a guy.
They're free because I'm letting you in.
He's
Steve's
the guy,
that you know.
Yeah, so we are doing the Nerdies.
Oh,
with
Auntie, I would, yes. If I could somehow change my workforce and life, I would absolutely pay to fly you over here to be one of the hosts of the Nerdies.
That would be
That would
amazing.
be, just the best.
We've got a lot of really fun things planned for the Nerdies. It was a fun time last year, and we literally threw the show together in a week. We've had a little more time to plan, and I think it's just going to be a really great show. Anything you want to say about it before we go offline here tonight?
Make sure you keep it tuned in here on Insane Games TV for the Shovelware Shack next. And next week, don't be a fool. Make sure you tune in for the Nerdies. It's the best gaming award on Insane Games TV between 7:45 and 9 p.m.
On Tuesdays.
on Tuesday nights.
It's going to be a really great time, and I can't wait to share what we have planned with all of you. So hope you enjoy it, and I hope that we can see some of you here in person in the studio during the show. We might have a red carpet set up, or we might just like have a red piece of ribbon and say, just follow the line. We're not sure yet.
We'll spare no expense.
I get the old fucking the Hot Wheels rug that has the track, and we'll just move
Yeah.
it slowly down the line.
Follow the orange Hot Wheels track.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for watching the Nerd Glasses podcast. It's been an awesome show. We got to talk about a lot of cool stuff, and I love that all of you were sharing with us as well. Whether it's games you've been playing, your opinion on some of the stuff that we were talking about, and your thoughts on the Game Awards.
After we go off air, try coconuts now. It's better.
No.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching the Nerd Glasses podcast. Remember to stick around for the Shovelware Shack after this. And in the meantime, make sure you vote for the Nerdies. You've got only a few minutes left. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Man.
And I've been Steve. Good night, everybody.
I need you to get me getting that in stereo. Yep. There's a lot of clips from tonight's show.
Oh god, we're still on the camp view.
I hit outro!